It was supposed to be a routine prison transfer, the kind of thing that happens every day across the world. But for Mohamed Amra, this was far from a simple journey. On the 13th of April, 2020, during a fateful ambush, he made a daring escape from a prison van that would go down in history as one of the most audacious prison breaks ever attempted. This is the story of Mohamed Amra, the prisoner who escaped during a violent ambush that left 2 prison officers dead, others wounded, and a nation in shock. But what led to this unprecedented moment, and how did Amra pull off the impossible? Mohamed Amra, a man with a troubled past, was not your average criminal. Born in Tunisia, Amra was involved in various criminal activities including drug trafficking and organized crime. Over the years he built a reputation for being dangerous. But it wasn't until 2017 that he found himself behind bars. Amra had been convicted of drug trafficking, robbery and violent crimes, leading to a lengthy sentence. By the time of the escape, he was serving time at a high-security prison, located in a remote area. But despite the heavy security, the events that unfolded on that day would show that even the most secure institutions have vulnerabilities. It was a typical prison transfer, one that happens regularly. Amra was being transported from one prison to another, shackled and guarded by prison officers. There were 4 officers in the van, making sure he didn't escape, but they weren't prepared for what was about to happen. Around midday, while the prison van was driving along a remote stretch of road, a group of armed men, heavily armed and well-prepared, ambushed the vehicle. The attackers opened fire on the van, striking down 2 prison officers instantly. Chaos ensued, gunshots rang out, the van's windows shattered, and the officers scrambled for cover. Within moments the ambushers breached the van. But what happened next shocked everyone. Amidst the chaos and confusion, Mohamed Amra, who had been shackled in the back, seized the opportunity. In a split second, Amra managed to free himself from his restraints. While the attackers focused on the officers, Amra made his move. With lightning-fast reflexes, he charged out of the van, jumping into a waiting car driven by his accomplices. As the gunfire continued, he disappeared into the streets. The aftermath was nothing short of chaotic. The ambush had left 2 prison officers dead and several others wounded. The entire incident sent shockwaves through the nation. Authorities immediately launched a nationwide manhunt, but Amra had already gone into hiding. In the days that followed, police launched an intensive investigation to track down Amra and his accomplices. The situation was made even more tense by the fact that Amra had powerful connections that may have helped him evade capture. It wasn't just a simple prison escape. The ambush revealed a deeper issue, the growing influence of organized crime within the prison system. Amra's escape wasn't just about one man's freedom, it was a reminder of the power that criminals like him still wield, both inside and outside the prison walls. As the investigation unfolded, police scoured through CCTV footage, interviewed witnesses, and followed every possible lead. They quickly discovered that Amra's escape was carefully planned, with the ambush having been orchestrated well in advance. Amra's accomplices were said to have been members of a notorious criminal syndicate, well-armed and well-trained. They had clearly been waiting for the right moment to strike. Despite all efforts, Amra remained elusive for weeks. The police feared he had fled to neighboring countries, possibly taking refuge with his criminal associates in Europe or North Africa. But the question remained, how could a man with so many enemies and so much attention manage to stay hidden for so long? Weeks passed without a trace of Mohamed Amra. Then, in a surprise turn of events, the authorities finally caught a break. On June 5, 2020, after months of chasing down leads, a tip-off led them to a small, remote village in southern Italy. There, in a dingy apartment, Amra was cornered by authorities. With nowhere left to run, he was captured without resistance. The fugitive who had eluded capture for so long was finally back in custody. But this wasn't the end of the story. His escape and the ambush had raised serious questions about prison security, the influence of criminal organizations, and the dangers that exist in a system often overlooked by the public. The daring escape of Mohamed Amra serves as a grim reminder of the vulnerabilities in our criminal justice systems. Despite modern security systems, high-tech surveillance, and armed officers, organized criminals, continue to find ways to manipulate the system for their own gain. While Amra's escape may have been the most shocking, it's likely not the last. The dark side of organized crime in the prison system is still alive and well, and as we've seen, the lengths people will go to achieve their freedom can be both deadly and dangerous. What's next for Amra? He will stand trial for his crimes, and though he was captured, his story has sparked discussions about prison reform, security, and the relentless power of criminal networks. Thank you for watching. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think this escape will change prison security worldwide? Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.